Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Welcome to Livingston podcast. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela.
And we are just so excited to be back today. We've been gone for a while. Today is going to be episode number 65. And in this episode today, we are just going to kind of overview where we've been, where we're going, and talk a little bit about the podcast today.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so exciting because we're back. And I missed it, and it's been a year.
It has been a year.
And hard to believe that it was that long, but it feels really good. It's kind of just like how we left.
No, it is. But it's one of those things, we did 64 episodes and I just love doing it. But we were at a place in our business and kind of a place in our family life as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Where taking a year off was called for, I think.
Well, I think everybody gets kind of burned out sometimes, like in life, you have your life, you have your work, you have everything. And when you're burned out, you just can't deliver your best. And for our listeners, I don't think that would be fair. And so now we're reinvigorated. We're ready to come back to this and make it all it can be.
Right. Yeah. Because I guess we kind of had too many balls in the air.
Fair.
If you're trying to, any of you out there that's trying to juggle a million things.
Doing too much. What are the odds, right? Are you doing too much?
Yes. So, one of the places we wanted to start today is, we're going to have some new listeners, and we have some listeners that are hopefully coming back, right? We're going to grow this quite a bit. So what is the Welcome to Livingston podcast?
It's my baby.
Okay.
It's such a fun podcast. It's been a way for us to build up small businesses and let the community know about it.
Our original idea on the Welcome to Livingston podcast is this idea that there's so much going on in the community that people don't know about. And I think one of the things that brought me to think about it is those times that you turn on to Grand River and Howell, or you're coming down to Main Street in Brighton, or you're in Fowlerville, and all of a sudden downtown is closed off and there's a festival going on. And you had no idea a festival was happening this weekend. Or you're driving by and you're like, oh, it's a new restaurant. And you go in and the restaurant's been there 6 months. It's that idea of that community and giving back to the community, but also finding out the things that are going on in the community and the way people are giving back.
All these treasures. Yeah. We're real estate by profession.
Yes.
But in the past couple of years, people just started pouring into the county. And so that's sort of that premise of Welcome to Livingston, because we have so many great things to share with everybody. But, people didn't necessarily know that. And it could be not just the people that are new to the community, but a lot of the people that have been here a long time. And so by having a platform like this, it gives us the opportunity to share the small businesses of the county as well as the events and the causes.
Exactly. And with our reinvigorated focus on this, we have so many great guests lined up. We are just so looking forward to being able to share with you a lot of businesses that have come into the community and just those things that are happening and going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice little half-hour show every week, and it can help reconnect you to your community or introduce it to you for all of those people that have moved in, just countless I'm always running into.
Exactly. And we are real estate agents. We actually own our own brokerage, which is, when we left last year, we're opening our brokerage.
Yes.
So this podcast, Welcome to Livingston, is powered by the Putkela Group. We have our own brokerage. It's a small boutique brokerage serving Southeast Michigan as a whole, actually, because in the past year we've done deals in Grand Rapids, we've done deals up in the Thumb, so it's a little further north of that. We did a deal in Traverse City a couple years ago.
Yeah, but generally speaking, Livingston County is our stomping grounds, as it were.
Yes, very much so.
Great. So in terms of some of that, we already are coming into this with so many great episodes. For anyone that this is new for, queue it up, check it out, listen to some of these. For the most part, these businesses are still in business, even some of these in downtown Brighton that really had to have a rough year this year.
Yes.
But we made sure that they had good shelf life for these small businesses to be able to use and have. And so you'll probably learn something you didn't know.
Yes. And, speaking again of the real estate, we do take a look into real estate periodically. We're going to have more of a schedule this time in terms of how we look at real estate. But if you're looking at those past episodes, there's some great episodes on that. I believe we have a podcast that we talk about our favorite episodes as well.
Yeah.
So you can go back and queue some of those up and just check out where we've been so you can kind of see where we're going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a little different. Like, I think it's where we've been, but also in terms of changes. Do you want to speak to some changes about what our listeners might expect?
So one of the things we're looking at in the podcast is, one, we're going to be a little more formulaic about our episodes. So once every 5 or 6 weeks, you can expect an episode that is real estate focused or personal focused, meaning just us, meaning we're not going to be bringing in a guest for those episodes. So we're going to try to maybe come up with a series for you guys of these are the aspects of the housing that we're looking at. So then you can look through those and go, okay, in these 5 episodes that, once a month take 5 months to do, we're walking you through so many different processes within real estate to give you insight to different areas of it to help you out because, the market is always changing and such. Also, what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at sponsors for our podcast.
Right. Yeah. So if there's anyone that that's interested, we are getting started talking to some of the core businesses that have always been such a great support for us to let them have the first opportunity. But then as a listener, be aware that whoever we get on board here, that's a huge thing that we are going to appreciate them helping to sponsor to allow us to continue this on indefinitely here.
Yes.
So that will be a wonderful thing. So I'm excited about that and the partnerships that we can develop with these sponsors because we definitely do other things that we're branching off into in terms of advertising wise, even though the majority of our business does come from referrals, basically repeat clients and past business people recommending their family, their friends. So a lot of that is really the core of our business. But we've not done a lot of advertising, and I think that may change in the coming year here.
Yep.
So but we're excited about the new guests that we'll be able to have on and everything involved in that.
Yeah. Did you want to speak a little bit more to some of the guests we have coming up soon?
Oh, absolutely. We have ATA Residential Solutions. That's going to be the next episode. They are kind of in that construction realm. So for those that aren't interested in moving, ways to listen to a realtor and still get a lot out of it.
Yeah, they do the remodeling. So if you're looking at getting your basement finished, bedroom remodeled, decks, kitchen remodels, those sorts of things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking all to them on the next episode about that. And I'm really excited to hear about the work that they do.
Absolutely. We're planning on having a Christmas lighting guy on and to hear some of those things for those that want those lights on but don't want to do the heavy lifting.
Or those that put the lights on for years and have decided that they just are not going to do it anymore, which would be me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then we also have the general store from downtown Howell who will be appearing on that we're very excited to have. That store opened a year ago. That's one of those where we came in to invite them and say, oh, you just opened. It's like, well, they opened a year ago. Like, oh my gosh, where has the time gone?
Yes.
Really is kind of crazy. But so those are, at least initially, kind of who we're getting on board. We've been having some very great conversations. I've been kind of surprised this go around. So I compare it to the last time we did this, we had 64 episodes. That's a lot. Talked to a lot of people. This go round, people have been a lot more suspicious and very, I don't, and in general, in the last year, I think there's a lot of out there in the world. I don't know why.
Well, you can be that ray of sunshine then.
There we go. That's what I want.
And we can be positive.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to getting all those on. I am sending a shout out to any restaurants that want to come on and bring food with them. That would be awesome if we could taste test some menus in here. I'd love that.
Yeah, I think that's a win. I think, and as we looked back on the episodes that we had, which ones did people enjoy? Which ones did people talk about? And what do people want to hear on this? Restaurants was something that came up.
Yes. That
we didn't really have. And restaurants are really hard, especially we.
Those people work. All small businesses work really hard.
Yes.
But I know restaurants, their schedule is
A little tricky.
a little trickier. So that's something that we're working on, and we're going to get there. So, as we move through this and everything, I notice you put on the sheet a retrospect of the last year.
Yes.
And, do you want to take that away a little bit? Kind of tell people what we've been up to.
My goodness. Well, you did mention starting the brokerage,
Yep.
which has been a big step. So we obviously are in a lot of, small circles with different other small businesses. And they're really such an inspiration to us that even though we kind of ran things as if we were on our own, we had more of a safety net than we do now. And to make that leap has been huge, and it's been wonderful, and it hasn't been as hard, knock on wood, as I thought that it would be this year.
No, it has been extremely rewarding.
Yes.
Easier than I thought and harder than I thought in different ways. But I would say it's been very rewarding, very beneficial, and very positive.
Yes. And our clients are with us because we're us, not because of the brokerage we belong to.
Right. And, we think that partnering with businesses is really important. So if you look back at our episodes, we have an episode on the Brighton Lighthouse. And the Brighton Lighthouse is who we partnered up with to have our office space within.
Right. And that has been fantastic. Beautiful space. They've also opened up All Heart Garage.
Yes.
So, in terms of, we just had an opportunity to meet with a new buyer, and we're able to sit down and use the space. And then in terms of mailing, even though we work out of our home a fair amount too, Google does not recognize that. And that's a big deal. So we do need a business address. And so that's where the Brighton Lighthouse people.
The Brighton Lighthouse have been very welcoming. They have an amazing community over there.
Absolutely. Everybody's so friendly and nice. And
yeah, so go back, anyone listening, and check out that episode about the Brighton Lighthouse and All Heart Garage. They are an amazing co-work space, but they do so much more than that. I really think of them as a community.
Yes, they really are. And the events and all of it. It's just really great.
Yeah. So personally, what's been up?
Oh, personally.
Yes.
Personally.
Yes, I know you wanted to touch on that.
Wow, this is true. So this past year, we did have a graduating senior who he graduated, yay. And the amount of time commitment required involved in that is completely off the hook.
Yeah, we may do an episode on that at some point because I think parents of upcoming graduating seniors have no idea
we
what
didn't.
they're in for.
Yeah, we didn't.
No, and it starts. They're into our. We're getting closer to the Christmas holiday, so they're in the thick of it already.
Yeah.
And I think if you haven't had a senior graduate, you don't realize that prep starts almost a year in advance.
Yeah, it is really remarkable. I thought that it wouldn't be till the spring, and it was.
And keep your checkbook handy because it's
death by paper cut. But so. And not just the financial part of it, the time part of it, the emotions. The emotions are huge because this is your child, and you think back to the first day of kindergarten, and you think back to all of these things, and it culminates in the fact that they are now an adult. Yeah. And that was shocking and exciting, but so proud of him and all that he's done and all that he's going to do. He graduated. He's moved on to going to college.
No, he's living his best life with our pocketbook is what I like to say.
But he's leading his best life.
He is. He's doing amazing. You can see the growth of the maturity that comes when they get out of your house and they're making their own decisions on a daily basis.
Yeah, which is scary for parents.
It's scary for parents, but he's doing a great job. But that's the biggest personal thing that's happened in the last year. There's a lot of things out there, but that's the big one is we have one less person in the house.
Yep, this is true. And so that was a big step, getting him off to college, and he's not close by. So it's not just a quick run up. You and I went to Michigan State. We lived in town. It was a 1-hour drive, So if I forgot something, I could just jump back. But for him, we're kind of out of luck.
We are out of luck.
So well, thank goodness there's Amazon and anything else. It required us to be more organized.
Right.
And I think that's helpful.
Yes. Yeah.
But to see the enthusiasm he has, he found something he could be excited about and found a program for it and did a lot of that himself. So just like you said, with maturity.
Right.
So that was huge. So certainly there was a lot of energy caught up in there. The one thing that I was not prepared for as our oldest left for college was that close-knit relationship that he had with his siblings. So while I was wrapped up in how I was feeling and how you were feeling and how we're going to miss our son, I never even thought about how much they were going to miss their brother.
No, that was
It was a big aha.
it was a huge aha.
And I knew they got along, but I just didn't realize how close they were.
No, and I've talked to Colin a few times about it since then, and he said it's great when he talks to him on the phone, but it's different. It's, hey, what's been going on with your life? And you're updating him on all the stuff that's happening instead of talking in the here and now about the things that they already know about.
Or just making the jokes.
Or making the jokes.
That, yeah.
The inside jokes aren't as, they're there, but they're different. He said it's a good relationship, but it's a different relationship that he wasn't prepared for.
Right. Well, both of them, he was a part of their life,
Right.
and he still is, but definitely more of an adjustment.
Yes.
So then as he left, we were able to focus in more on them and building them up, and they bounced back pretty quick. But
yeah,
that was unexpected.
That was unexpected, but that was the big the big personal thing that happened this year in terms of keeping us busy.
Yes.
and doing all of that and helping someone move out.
Because you lost your driver.
I did lose my driver. I did. I went from an 18-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 12-year-old to now I have a 15 and a 12, and I'm doing this student driving now, which means not only did I lose the driver to go help me pick stuff up, I'm out there sitting in the passenger seat with someone else driving that's not an experienced driver.
Yes.
So it's been a lot of fun.
So it's all good, but it definitely made us appreciate all that he did for us before he left.
Yep. So professionally in the last year, I have had personally a lot of things going on.
Yes.
So that kept me busy. So in 2023, I was part of the Michigan Realtors Leadership Academy. So I was one of 14 real estate agents that were picked from across the state to go into leadership training. We met 4 or 5 times a year. I had a couple different conventions to go to. But the nice thing about that is I was able to network with agents from across the state, meet with the state association president, their treasurer, talk with the person in charge of legal for the state and such, and really had an opportunity to really expand both our network of people that we know and our connections across the state, but really got to learn the inner workings of the Michigan Association of Realtors and just how important they are, and got a lot of training in that. And all of that to help prep me for the fact that I'm president-elect of the Livingston County Association of Realtors, and I will be starting I'm president-elect now.
President-elect. Oh, that's true. Yes, I'll hear you've been president.
So in about a month here, I will be the 2024 president for the Livingston County Association of Realtors. So I'm very excited about that. It's going to be a very busy year, but I think that it's the right time to be able to put those things back on my plate and put Welcome to Livingston on our plate at the same time. So I just really we value the relationships we have with local agents in Livingston County and across the state.
Absolutely. No, I think our high school son could be a bit of an inspiration. He was worried about overcommitting himself this fall, and he took on a lot, and the marching band and the play and everything. And once you know that first quarter, he 4-pointed it. And so that's why we learned the more you have going on, the more you can do.
Well, yeah, no, I think that when you don't have a lot on your plate, sometimes you tend to push it off to the side and know I can take care of it later.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
And it's that adage of they talk about, how are you the day before you go on vacation? The day before you're on vacation, you're the most organized that you're ever going to be. And productive.
Most productive ever.
I need to get A through F done. And, I'm boom, 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 because I know that I'm getting on a plane the next day and it all has to be done, right?
Yeah.
I think in terms of putting some things on your plate that you're passionate about, can do the same thing for both your personal life and your business.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a positive way of looking at things. Of if you're overcommitted, look at it in a different way. Have you picked the right commitments? Because for our son, it wasn't that he was overcommitted. He picked the right commitments that he was passionate about, and therefore was able to individually put the energy into each one and not lose focus, because his marching band, his drum line, his play, his classes, they were all important to him.
Right. No, that's exactly it. Because if it's something that you're passionate about, and everybody should have those things that they are willing to do that volunteer work for, right?
Exactly.
So in terms of
that's a really good segue, because I have two things that I want to bring up here that we're passionate about.
Good point. But I do want to point out this position of yours. This is a completely unpaid volunteer position that you are taking on a whole nother job.
And I've been on the board for a number of years now. So I was treasurer, and then I was president-elect, and now I'm going to be president, and then I'll be past president. But I do enjoy giving back, but it is 100% volunteer. I give it out of...
Organizations need that, though.
They do.
There's listeners, there's people out there that are part of their HOA boards. They're part of other boards, in terms of nonprofit. Even as simple as just volunteering at your child's school.
Exactly.
There's so many, I remember elementary, that there were so many parents that did do that and take their time to do that and make that difference.
Right.
That really, those are huge things. Those are the commitments that make a difference years after.
Exactly. So speaking of commitments.
Yes.
Number one, we have our volunteering coming up for Realtor Ring Day for the Salvation Army. So we will be out in front of Walmart in Howell on December 1st from noon to 2 p.m. We're going to be at the entrance for the grocery side, but there are going to be realtors all over the county at Meijer, VG's, Kroger, those places that are going to be collecting for the Salvation Army. So we would love it if people got out there, and it doesn't have to be on our day. Those people are volunteering out there, ringing that bell to help people in need. And
people in need that are right here locally.
In Livingston County.
Yeah.
So please get out there and, give a little bit of change into those buckets. I know they're always looking for volunteers to get out there and ring the bucket. When we have a chance, we bring the kids out there. We've had a little speaker to have Christmas music and such. This year, it will be just Angela and myself. It will not be our kids because we're there from noon to 2. But we would love to see people stop by, say hi, and give a little bit to the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
And we've done that for a number of years.
Yeah. If you haven't had a chance to be one of those bell ringers, honest to goodness, you've got to try it at some point or another. It really just warms the heart, and the generosity that people give is really just, it's phenomenal.
Yep. No, that is very true.
Exciting to be part of that.
It is.
And then I get involved on the food drive as well in the spring.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the spring, but you do the Gleaners Food Drive, which is great to do as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, helping the county.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about is Angela's favorite event of the year, and it's her pet project, and it comes up on December 3rd. So I'm going to let you talk about that.
Fantastic. Well, our favorite movie of all time is It's a Wonderful Life. And that's just one that we have enjoyed, here in real estate. We almost see ourselves as that kind of Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed set of characters, and salt so that your home may always know flavor.
She knows that because we actually have it on our wall in our dining room that she got for Christmas a few years ago.
Our son bought that for us.
Yes.
I didn't realize that it was, have a movie quote on the, beautiful, not just a poster. It's, it's really a
it's
nice
etched in wood. It's nice.
Yeah. But anyway, so we love this movie, and every year we partner up to be able to go ahead and bring that to, our past clients, client appreciation, that kind of thing. But, in terms of
anyone listening as well.
Yeah. Reach out to us for details and to secure seats. Since they have the 2 theaters there, downtown in Howell, over at the Historic Howell Theater, then we always pick a different holiday movie. Last year we did do good old National Lampoons.
Yep.
This year we have decided to go with A Christmas Story. A lot of people love it. You'll shoot your eye out and all that crazy niche kind of stuff, and a lot of people have, only seen bits and pieces of it, not unlike the other movie, that to be able to sit down with a big screen and be able to see it is fantastic. So that's something that's huge, to be able to sit down through its entirety and be able to enjoy it and really get that Christmas spirit going. So reach out to us. I'm sure we have room. We'll set aside some seats for you and come on out.
But that is December 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Are you sharing the time?
Well, no, go ahead and reach out to us. It's midday. It's midday, but I want to know who's coming.
Yes, great opportunity to see a classic film in a historic theater. So it's the Howell Historic Theater. It's the old time theater. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, it's the one you sat in as a kid. It is not the big reclining chairs and everything, but I think it is the perfect atmosphere to be able to sit down and watch a Christmas movie, especially something like It's a Wonderful Life. We only show the black and white version.
Yes, you're very, very particular about that.
Yes, and on the other one, A Christmas Story. So 2 great movies. I'm sure people have seen bits and pieces of it, but to be able to sit down and watch it, and then just to be able to, we love it because we get to see our friends, our clients, our clients that have become
friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just a great opportunity to see people have a great event and to give them an opportunity to come and see this courtesy of the Putkela group. So, we usually have some snacks there and everything. And then please, at any time, support the Howell Historic Theater. They are a great theater down there. They have a lot of great events. You can rent it out.
For birthday parties. Or even in terms of video games, I think they can hook those up. Check out his episode because we did interview Tyler.
Yeah, and he does a horror movie marathon around Halloween every year that has quite the following. So this last year, it was all movies of the 1980s, but I know there's people that get excited about that as well.
And even in terms of his marquee, as you drive by, people will pay to have their message on his marquee. And I think that's pretty exciting and neat.
Yeah. So I think from there, we already talked a little bit about the format for the podcast, but please check out our future podcasts. We're going to, each episode's about a half an hour. We're going to be interviewing local businesses, on a weekly basis to just discuss with them what's going on in the community and then get some of those festivals in as well. And we're also going to sprinkle in a little bit of real estate there.
Yeah. I think that'll be kind of helpful. We do like to build these small businesses up, but we kind of need to build up ours as well. That's part and parcel, in which case the current real estate environment, things have changed a little in the last year too.
They have. So, if you're looking at real estate out there, interest rates are an issue. Interest rates are high right now. So, if you're looking at current interest rates, you're looking in that 7.5 zone right now.
In this moment, we've learned how much that changes so quickly, though.
Well, yeah. So 2.5 years ago, interest rates were at 3.5%. And now we're at 7.5%. And does that affect the market? Yes, it does. Now, that being said, we're still in a good market. Inventory is still an issue. Inventory is low in Livingston County. But what we're looking at is, in one way, I think that market is balancing a little bit. In another way, I think that if you're looking at some of those price points, you're seeing those prices start to pull back a little bit. And the only reason I say that is that for 2.5 years, we had property values that were going through the roof.
Skyrocketing.
They were skyrocketing. I mean, we had, 2021, your property value in some areas increased in excess of 20% in the 12-month period.
That's not healthy. It really isn't. So, even as we look to, things have slowed down here. That's better. They're more healthy. The values are still staying strong. So in terms of those homeowners, no concerns there. It's just, you can't plan on huge increases year after year.
What I would say that's one of the most important things now is talking to your realtor very early.
Yeah.
As a buyer, as you're starting to get pre-approved, as you're starting to think about it, to make sure you have everything lined up, making sure you're conscious of what's going on in the market. But in the same vein, for a seller, we sit down with sellers 6 months before, a year before, to talk to them about what they need to do to their house, because that's changed as well, where the houses that are selling are the ones that are updated, the ones that have things taken care of. There's fewer people that want a fixer-upper right now than I think there's ever been in the past.
Yeah. No, this is very true. But that doesn't mean that someone needs to go through, because sometimes some of our sellers will think, oh, I have to update this and this and this and this. Like, no, right. Actually you don't. That we can be consultative,
right,
and offer our perspective.
And that's why I think sitting down with a professional as early as you can,
because it allows us to be consultative.
Right. It's like when they talk about you're sitting down with your financial planner, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying, okay, this is where I want to be in 24 months. This is where I want to be when I retire, right?
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing with a real estate agent. When we're going to have an episode coming up that you had on future topics, understanding the right time to move for you.
Yeah.
Which when your house doesn't fit your needs anymore, once you identify that, that's the time. Well, it's time to sit down with someone even before that.
Guess we don't need that episode now. But no, like, to be able to sit down with us. I've had people say, oh, well, I'm just not ready yet, so we're going to contact you the minute that we're ready to list. It's like, no, we do a lot better when you're just thinking about things. I want to talk to people that they're not sure if they want to move yet or not.
Right.
Because that's when we've been able to be the most helpful. We've had countless people that we've said, look, I don't think it really makes sense.
Right. No, but I think the biggest thing that's not that it's changed in the real estate industry, but it's become more evident that you need professional help.
Yes.
You need someone that understands what's going on, both on a national and on a local level.
Yeah, there's a lot to navigate.
There's a lot. I mean, if you're watching the news and everything else, I mean, they're talking about the economy. They're talking about the housing market. They're talking about the National Association of Realtors. There's just a lot of stuff out there, and being able to talk to someone that lets you understand what that means to you personally.
Right. So somebody that's knowledgeable and has experience.
Exactly.
Is no comparison to, there's all kinds.
Who you work with matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's in every industry, but who you work with matters.
Yeah.
But, and we work with a ton of great people. We're going to have a ton of great people coming on the podcast. I personally am so excited to be back.
Yes, I am too.
It feels good to be sitting in the chair.
Can I take a moment to say thank you for any of our listeners that have made a point? I think you've helped to make this possible, because not only did we miss it, we realized that you guys missed it too. I lost track of how many people say, hey, I sure wish you were doing the podcast again. And that just made me so happy, because, sometimes we do this and we toss it out into the Ethernet, and, I don't know if anyone's even listening, but to hear people say that just gives me so much joy and so much excitement. And that's why we just knew that we had to be back.
It is. And we love the people here at Wayne Media and at Speakeasy.
Yes.
It is just such a great environment to be able to come in, sit down, work with such professional people.
Staff, everybody is so amazing. Honest to goodness. If you've ever thought about doing a podcast, these guys are the people to call. But they do video. They did our website.
Yep.
Just outstanding.
Yep. And if you want to be on a podcast, call us and we'll get you on, especially if you know a local business here. We'd love to talk to you about what you have going on in your lives.
Absolutely. Please feel free to reach out to us, and we hope to see you at the movie. So let us know if you can make it.
Yep. So thank you so much for listening today. Please check out our podcast wherever you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or just go to our website, welcometolivingston.com, and click on the podcast link at the top and check us out. So thank you so much for listening today, and
tune in next time.
Yes.
The weekend.
Welcome to Livingston.